cool. I don't really have anything to promote today, so I thought I'd have a bit of fun with my slides. And so I come up with this thing, 10 years, 30 lessons. It's about 10 years since I got my first job in the industry, 2001. And here's some things that I've kind of learned along the way. You might agree with me, you might not. Okay, never turn down a public speaking opportunity. You can really get a lot out of this. It's not, I mean, one thing is self-promotion, because obviously I'm on the stage now and you guys are all looking at me. And I'm actually not even going to talk about what I do, but it might pique your interest. But, and one thing is, like, I did a kind of talk last year at a conference called Flash on the Beach, and it's like a really kind of big professional conference, and it's really like the biggest thing I've ever done still in terms of speaking, and just a lot of pressure. And so I spent 2 weeks, I took 2 weeks off work to prepare my talk, and the research and development that went into doing that presentation has kind of informed everything I've done since, and I kind of learned more than that. It's like a mini sabbatical just preparing for it, so you can really get a lot out of it. Network, obviously another great thing about coming to something like this is doing this. If you want to kind of get new business or just kind of get more out of your job, enjoy it more, meet new collaborators, meet new people to work with, obviously networking is really important. Doing it in person is obviously the best thing, but it's also really good to be on Twitter. I mean, I still meet people who aren't on Twitter, and I just like get on there because it's you find out things like, for example, I see people tweet all the time about jobs, like quite good, quite nice, decent jobs, and everyone that, like most people that follow me on Twitter already have a job, so I retweet them, but no one really, I'm not sure if I've ever hooked anyone up for a job. It's like the people who are just coming out of uni or people looking for a new job are the people that should be on Twitter following people, because there's so much stuff on there, you know, between all the like things about what people eat for breakfast. Yeah. Oh yeah, another thing is people down here do business on Facebook, which really surprised me. So yeah, there's different networks, and depending on what kind of business you're after and stuff and what kind of business you're in, it's good to be on different networks. LinkedIn as well, if you want to get hassled by recruiters constantly. Right, people are motivated by money, so this is something that really surprised me. Money is a motivator, but I don't think it's the main one. Like, if you take like, well, it's to do with this really, people want to do meaningful work. No amount of money will keep someone in a job that they don't want to do. Whereas, does that say 1 minute? No, so I've got only way longer than that. Right, you said I could have longer. You told me I could have longer. I'm just going to finish them anyway. What if I didn't turn up until 10 o'clock to start running? People want to do meaningful work. Okay, so I mean, if you think about how much the army are paid, like if you start in the army, the starting salary is like £13,000, and that's to get shot at. And people don't join the army for the money, you join for a higher purpose. And that's why if you go to Iraq as like a private contractor or whatever, you get paid a huge amount of money because you're not fulfilling any higher purpose. It is all about the danger, right? So you can pay overtime pizza, right? So if you want to like get people to kind of work a bit above and beyond the call of duty, a really great motivator is like camaraderie and just that feeling of like we're all in this together and stuff. So just providing a couple of pizzas for people if they have to stay late works just as well as like paying them overtime. But obviously don't do it too much. Don't go home while your minions are still working. So if you're a boss and you expect your staff to like put in loads of extra work and stuff, you better be there as well, because otherwise those guys are just going to be talking about you behind your back. Get in on the ground floor. If you see something happening and you think it's exciting and it's a new trend, and this is where the thing is, just get on it. Stop whatever you're doing now and get on it. Because I saw start of things like MiniClip, like you know, the flash calls. Those guys all made millions of pounds. I saw the start of social network, not social networks, like virtual worlds, like Habbo Hotel and Club Penguin and Moshi Monsters. I saw all that stuff start, and I thought I could do that easy, and I didn't. And all those guys made £1 million. So if you see something happening and you think you could do it, just do it. Stop whatever you're doing, do it. It's never too late and you're never too old. So this is kind of the other thing. It's like, there are ideas that I had 5, 10 years ago that would still work now, and I still want to make them. And good ideas kind of, they last. You know, some of the things that, for example, Apple are doing now are ideas that Steve Jobs had like 30 years ago. And like someone sent me a thing recently which was like some news group posts, and it was the guy, who's the guy who took over Doctor Who? Do you remember? It's Moffat, is it? Stephen Moffat. And his post he wrote on news groups 15 years ago with ideas for Doctor Who stuff, and a lot of that is now in the show. So it's like, you know, hang on to your ideas. And the you never too old thing. When I started when I was 20, I thought, there's no way I'll still be doing this at 40, but now from like at 30, I look at the people who are 40 and they're all much better than me because they've got 10 years experience on me. And so I can't imagine not still doing this stuff at like 50 or even older or that. So start a blog, but write about things people want to read. Very important. Blogging is so good, it makes you research things, it makes you get better, it makes you kind of articulate your thoughts and kind of get them in order. It's also great kind of search engine optimization. It's a great way for kind of people to find out about you because kind of in the future we're all a kind of product, stroke channel, stroke media node, stroke, you know, you're not just a kind of a worker anymore, you have to be this kind of, this bigger transmedia entity. Iterate your good ideas, throw away your bad ones. If you've had a really good idea and it was a success, don't just go, okay, that was a success, move on to the next thing. Make that thing better. And if you have bad ideas, don't just cram more time into them hoping they'll get better, they really won't. Don't wait and see if things get better, they don't. Okay, so if you're not enjoying your job, just quit now because it's not going to get better. Suck your client. If you're like not enjoying the work you do for a particular client, just sack them. There'll be more clients, don't worry about it. If you've got the skills, people will come to you. Don't forget about opportunity cost, because this is the thing, right? Everything you do carries an opportunity cost of the thing that you could have been doing if you weren't doing that. So if you're doing a really boring, I mean, for me it's like, you know, I wasted a lot of opportunities, because like, for me the thing I always wanted to do is make games, but I wasted a lot of time making banner ads or websites or kind of boring things that my heart really wasn't in it. And even though I was getting paid for it, and I wasn't getting paid right, it's like, the opportunity cost was all the time that I wasn't doing the thing I really wanted to do and getting better at that, ultimately. There's no work when you did when you moved, then move. This is a bit of an annoying thing to hear down here, but it's true, unfortunately. You know, I like, just as an example, I've got like a cousin-in-law who like asked me, you know, they're a designer, like a web, they're a print designer, and they're like, you know, I want to be, I can't find a job as a print designer. It's like, where do you live? And you like lived out in the middle of nowhere. And it's like, well, why don't you move to a big town? It's like, no, I don't want to. And that is a really bad attitude to have because you will end up stuck in the same kind of situation, you know, and you won't follow your dreams. Because the good news is this, once you establish yourself, you can live wherever you want. So it only takes a bit of time, maybe just a couple of years, to just establish yourself, get good, and you might need to do that in a big town. But once you've done that, you can go wherever you want. Think globally as well. Don't just look for kind of local business. Look for business all across the world because it's just bigger. You need to be left alone in a quiet room. Like this is one that no one would believe me. I've known this years and years, and no one ever believes me. So I used to work in an office in London with about 20 people in the same one room, right? We had the windows open, this is in East London, outside every day, pneumatic drills. At night, beard up people. The phones were going constantly, emails going constantly, loud music, like minimal techno music on all the time. It's just like, you can't get any work done in that space. But now, I work, you know, I've got an office in my house in like a suburban street in Truro, and I never hear any noise, I get a lot more work done. Retain as many rights as possible, right? So say that you're making a website for, I mean, I'll use like the kind of web I do as an example. If I'm making a game, and I'm making it for Heinz mayonnaise, right? Heinz mayonnaise don't need to own like a game engine or like any game code. They don't need to, all they need to own is one specific game to promote their thing, and that's it. So make sure you retain all the other rights to whatever it is. So this applies to whatever you're doing. All the kind of technology and everything that makes your stuff work, make sure you retain the rights to all of that. Because you might find that you can just sell the same thing again, double your money. Right, occasional pressure is a good motivator. I wish this wasn't true, but it is. Sometimes it really helps me if I've got a deadline or, you know, a rude person who keeps hassling me, because it helps me get stuff done, because I'd rather avoid that conflict with that person. I'd rather just get the work done and then I'll just put in that little bit of extra work. But sustained pressure will kill you. This is what happened to me in London. If you're in a constant high pressure environment all the time, your health will suffer basically. You'll start to feel very, very stressed, very, very unhappy. No one can keep this up basically, and if you've got employees, you shouldn't expect them to do that. Ask for more money on a regular basis. Okay, this is a nice one. And this actually works. So if you're an employee, ask for a raise about at least every 6 months. But go for free, really. Because think about how much you learn in 3 months. You could get twice as good in 3 months. You could get twice as productive. You know, if you work hard and you learn fast, you know, you're getting better all the time. It's the same thing with, like, if you're doing client work. A lot of people have too many clients, or they have to turn down work. It's like, if you have to turn down work, that's just a message that, no, just put your rates up and do it until people start turning away. And there's a balance, because if you double your rate and you get half the work, so okay, you've lost half your business, but you're still making the same amount of money. So, and you've got half your time off. So that's a better result, right? So if you can do it, do that. It's much better. So yeah, so keep asking for more money. Get us out of the recession. Right. No good deed goes unpunished. Okay, this is not very nice ones here, but basically, don't do anyone any favours. If you're in a situation where, for example, someone says, can you hook me up with a job or whatever, if they're right for the job, then yeah. But if they're not, then just don't even go there, because you're mixing business with pleasure and you're going to end up in all kinds of trouble. It's the same thing with don't make someone a website for free or whatever. Never work for more than 1 month without getting paid. Don't let Americans pay you by check. American check takes 6 weeks to clear, and they mail it to you, which probably takes 2 weeks. So that's 8 weeks before you're going to see any money, and plus they might not pay till the end of the project, so I waited 5 months to get paid for everything I did. Meetings are a complete waste of time, goes without saying. Clients can't tell you what they want, but they know when they see it. Make the thing you're making, okay, so don't engineer some huge framework that can build everything you'll ever have to do in the future, because it won't work. The best ideas are the vision of a single person, okay, so going back to Apple, you know, all those things is just what Steve Jobs wants to make, really. If you try and make something by committee, it's always going to end up rubbish. Following your heart is following your head, right? Your heart can't actually think. When we say your heart, you just mean a different part of your head. And if your heart is telling you not to do something or to go after some particular thing, that's really a part of your brain telling it to do it, so you better follow it. Whatever you want to be, just be it. So don't wait for someone to come to you and go, oh, I want you to be like, you know, in a band, you know, the Sex Pistols. Just go and be in the Sex Pistols. Thank you.